And when you have more kids walking to school and you have more parents accompanying them outside of their cars and on the sidewalks, you have more eyeballs on the children's safety, and you have fewer cars in a carpool lane. You have fewer people trying to make dangerous turns into groups of children trying to cross the street. When you increase pedestrian traffic, you increase their safety, and we increase the safety of all the children. So the YMCA is a huge supporter of the walking school bus. As Paula mentioned, we're excited to work with PTOs and to work with parent groups to say, you know, kids should be engaged in active transportation, especially if you attend a neighborhood school. How can we work to make this a priority in our communities?
That can also save us a lot of money, just as a side note.
Sure.
In these days when the schools are facing so much of a budget crunch, wouldn't it be great to have them be able to spend the money on teachers rather than on fuel and school buses?
Sure would.
So let's talk about some of the other things that are being done to keep children physically active. One thing that the Children's Services Council started 3 years ago, Andy, you're a great partner in at the Y, which is introducing, we've always had a requirement for physical activity in our after school and our summer programs, but we realized that perhaps more of a curriculum was needed. And so we introduced the Spark curriculum, and the Y has taken that on in a real leadership role. Can you talk
We're
about
excited to partner with both Children's Services Council and the Health Foundation of South Florida and Spark to say, what can we really do to, we're never going to try in the after-school setting to replace physical education that we would love to see restored during the school day, and we're a strong advocate for that. But in the meantime, years are passing us by, and children are going through entire school years without physical education. And we have so many children in our after-school programs, and we're very excited about a lot of the work we've been doing in after-school programs. Our physical activity component, how can we take it up several notches and say, we as an organization in partnership with our great partners, how can we really look to increase both the quality and the quantity of that physical activity component? How do we create those skilled movers that I referenced earlier? How do we get kids not just participating during that after school space, but then taking it home and saying, you know what, rather than that screen time back home, why don't I get some friends together in the neighborhood and why don't I teach them this game that I learned during my Spark time? And we're excited to say that we are training our staff more effectively through the support of our funders. We've been able to develop some master trainers within our organization so that we can keep bringing back our staff and saying, let's look at all these different ways that we can get kids active the entire time. Not just the kids who enjoy sports, not just our star athletes, but all of the kids in our program. How do we get them excited about movement so that they do it here and then they take it home and they get their families active as well? So we're excited to beef up everything we're doing around physical activity and to work with our partners to do so.
That's a great lead-in to hear from Ben Wheeler, who is the interim executive director at the Greater Hollywood YMCA Family Center. Let's hear from him about how youth are being effectively engaged in physical activities and the Y's approach.
Well, one of our signature programs is called YFit. It's encouraging children to continue to be active through play. We implemented the Spark curriculum. Some of the funding for the YFit programs has come through the Children's Services Council, and we've been able to really get the kids moving and acclimated and doing more than they've ever done before. So a lot of the Spark curriculum and the implementation through YFit focuses on kids just constant movement and activities. We call it MVPA, moderate to vigorous physical activity, and encouraging kids to just stay moving. It's one of the ways that we're really battling childhood obesity at the YMCA here in Broward County, in all of South Florida. It's not always new games or new activities, it's taking existing games and existing things like kickball and turning kickball into an activity that everybody can participate in all the way through. It's taking the way we teach basketball to kids and saying, okay, how can we give more kids more touches, more opportunity to use the ball and to really develop their skills instead of one ball and 10 kids. We say, how do we get 10 balls and 10 kids, and how do we make this productive so everybody stays engaged and involved the whole time and really get to practice their skill set throughout the day? So it just takes the existing games and existing things that we've all grown up playing and we've all grown up participating in, and saying, how do we get more touches per kid and more activity and really get the kids to exercise during practice times? By implementing the Spark curriculum through the YFIT programs, there's a couple of goals we're trying to achieve. One is continuing to battle childhood obesity. It's an epidemic here in South Florida, across the nation, and so these are activities that we can find kids to show the kids that they can have fun while exercising, that it's not about being on a treadmill, it's not about just running laps or punishment through exercise, it's about having fun and enjoying time with your friends while learning a skill and exercising at the same time. So many of the kids don't realize they're exercising, they just go and have fun playing activities. It also gives us better skill development. Kids get more touches on the ball, more times practicing, more times actually doing the skill, not just watching it or watching other kids do it, but actually hands-on involvement. So their skill development goes through the roof as well. So we found it to be tremendously effective. Parents love it because their children are engaged the entire time, the entire class. They're not waiting for directions. They're not sitting down and waiting for a turn. They're part of the practice the whole time. They get exercise, they get to move, they get to do a lot of different things. We run different age groups so we can do more age-appropriate activities for the kids. So we'll have the younger age groups go for usually 30 to 40 minutes for kind of constant movement. The older kids will go 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what they do. Inside the YMCA building itself, for our members, we offer this program 3 different times a day for different age groups. We also have been able to take this program out into the community with the help of the Children's Services Council. We're implementing this in over 50 before and after school sites in Broward County in this fall. So really excited to be able to push this program down and share the results that we've been able to see so far with the entire county. We've implemented the YFIT program through all of our YMCA facilities and implemented using the Spark curriculum to do that, but there's only so many people we can impact in that way, and so as the YMCA continues to try to impact more and more people in Broward County and continues to really battle childhood obesity from a grassroots level, we formed some dynamic partnerships with Broward County School District, with local parks and local parks and recreation departments, with our local cities and municipalities. We work closely with a number of different agencies as well that also serve children in certain ways as we've kind of positioned ourselves as hopefully the go-to people for battling childhood obesity and for this kind of programming. It's really innovative and it's unique, and so we're bringing people in and we're going to them and finding different ways to have access to families and to kids in our community to continue to do that. And so partnerships are absolutely essential for us to be successful in really combating childhood obesity on a county-wide level.
Well, as Ben points out, partnerships are critical to make this work. This is really an entire community from bottom up. Andy, can you talk about those partnerships that the YMCA is trying to promote?
Sure. The Y is working with a variety of partners in the community, as we always have. And this is a huge issue. I mean, it's going to, just like not one problem evolved to create this outcome, not one solution is going to solve that outcome either. It's all of us working in collaboration, in partnership, bringing what resources we have to the table together. We have a tremendous partnership with the Broward County School District. In fact, we've been able to open a YMCA within the school. At the Lauderhill Community YMCA is actually inside Lauderhill Middle School. We've had an opportunity to work with the school to provide wellness opportunities for the students and the staff of the school, also our after-school programs that are provided at that community, but then also to open the doors of that school to the community, to bring in families, seniors, to give opportunities for recreation in a community that maybe didn't have a lot of opportunities for recreation before. So we are growing that partnership, and lots of people are getting on board to recognize what a valuable partnership that is. So funders, schools, families, communities, city government, county government, this is all our issue. And we're certainly all going to have to deal with the ramifications of it. So let's get on the front end of it together and work in partnership to come up with some solutions.
And these solutions are not just being pulled out of thin air. These are based on some solid evidence and investigation, right, Paula?
All the things that we've talked about today, the policy and environmental changes so that families can make the healthy choices, so that the healthy choice becomes the easy choice or the default choice. These are all evidence-based, according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. So everything from safe routes to school, to community gardens, to after-school programs that offer physical activity, i.e. the Sparks program from the YMCA, working with food outlets, the grocery stores to have fresh fruits and vegetables available to the community, designing our communities in such a way or redesigning them in such a way that there is green space, that our roads are safe for pedestrians and for bicyclists. All of these are things that we as community members need to work together to implement in our own local communities to address our own local obesity epidemic in Broward County children.
We know, I mean, no parent wants to see their child suffer, and nobody wants to suffer themselves. So we know that if we support parents, then they'll make those better choices, we think. But still, driving home at night, and there's that McDonald's. We don't want to demonize McDonald's, but just, you know, there's that easy choice, whatever it is. You want us to know there are easy choices that can be made that actually will be healthy.
I mean, you could definitely go home and make something really quick and easy. And for those who can't really cook, I have a company website that you could go and get a couple pointers, or you know, if you want to, you can call us and we can come through and show you exactly how to prepare an easy meal with your family and make it a family thing. Don't make it just about just you in the kitchen by yourself struggling. You know, you have the kids there. You have the kids do the lettuce, wash the lettuce. You know, have the kids do the fruits and stuff like that, and then you take care of like the stove and stuff like to keep everyone active, to keep you around the family. Get away from the texting, get away from the computers and all that stuff. Just about family. An hour a day, I think, can make a change in everyone's life. I think that's what we're missing now. And that's the reason why there's so many health crises going on. We're just missing that hour a day with our kids just to get them right. And that's where we sit in.
And those advocates, those local advocates, I mean, I threw out there about the fast food, but really we've seen a change in our fast food community now. And it's because of local activists saying we need to have some healthy choices.
Absolutely.
So once you get there, make those healthy choices.
Absolutely.
But talk about how what you've been doing.
I'm seeing McDonald's trying to make some changes. And as you said, giving them a choice of the apple versus the French fries. And but I think in that case, it's basically left up to the parent to kind of encourage the youth. And it's an ongoing thing. Once you start encouraging them about eating the right things, it's going to give them a better attitude about themselves, that they are going to want to continue to eat the right things, because you say to them, if you eat this, and if you eat this, and if you eat this, then you're going to be stronger. All of these other things that we're talking about that could possibly happen to you, high blood pressure, diabetes, diabetes type 2, and a number of other issues could come up from us continuing to live the way we are living now. So again, we want to present, and we're trying to present tools for them to make those choices to have a better life, to live a little bit better than what they have been. It's all about making a change. And change, we know, is not easy, but it's good. Change is good.
One of those other challenges, I think, that is the Clean Your Plate Club. You know, I'm trying really hard with my daughter not to do that.
That's right.
And that's probably, you know, really for, I know in my house it was, you have got to clean your plate. And I find with her, she actually can take 2 spoons of ice cream that she was dying for and then say, that's it, I'm done. That never would happen. And like, what do you know, in my head, I'm like, are you kidding? You could throw the rest of that chocolate cake away? But I think one of the struggles for us as parents is to say, that's okay.
Right.
Let them have the 2 bites
Absolutely.
of chocolate cake or the 2 bites of ice cream. We don't have to deny all of those. Just let the censors not get overridden by our own, you know, force of will.
I believe that's what people face with. I mean, most people jump on health. The reason why certain diets don't work for certain people is because you go to a straight extreme. Like, for example, like when you go to these, I don't want to name anyone, but when you go to certain diets, it's saying get rid of everything that you normally consume. And what happened is your body is like, okay, I'm used to certain things at certain time, and now you're telling me that only thing I eat is this lettuce, and that's why most people think organic really tastes bad, because they're like, this piece of lettuce, that's all I'm going to eat for the rest of the day. But no, what you can say is that you eat this lettuce, but you can have a half of this chocolate right here, all right, and that's going to be your sweet fix. And that's all it is. It's just like, as you said, give your daughter that little option and get that ice cream, because she wants the ice cream. Because if she doesn't get it, what's going to happen? She's going to grow up later on with the eating habit because she loves ice cream now because you told her not to. But if you gave her the ice cream, she's like, oh, this is good, and I can go about this.
And give people the tools to, like you said, listen to those own sensors in their body. If you eat a meal with your family in conversation, then you have an opportunity to listen to those. if you eat a meal in front of the television and you engage in that mindless behavior, you don't have those sensors. So those are individual things. We're talking about systems and policy things, but it's all those things together that are going to lead us to that change you're talking about.
Absolutely. And you know, for myself personally, we're talking about, this is a personal thing, and this is what I've done with myself. And I find that if I eat out of smaller plates or smaller dishes, I don't consume as much. But if I get a larger plate, then it means I think I have to fill the entire plate. And I don't want to leave anything, because we were always taught to eat whatever is on the plate. You have nothing left over. So I concentrate and I practice that, try to practice, using the smaller plate or the smaller dish. And once I've eaten from there, well, then that's it.
And portion size is a huge issue. And as part of the tools that are given to parents in the Let's Move initiative, we have the dietary guidelines that come out from USDA, and they're simplified into something called My Plate, which really deals with portion size and maybe a little bit easier for folks to relate to than, say, the food pyramid.
Right.
Yeah, because I think we've lost all concept of what a real portion is supposed to be.
Right, right.
Well, this has been a great conversation. It's something I could really go on for hours about, but unfortunately we have to end now. These and other efforts at the local, regional, and national levels are aimed at changing the way we look at children's health in a more comprehensive way and at ensuring a healthier upbringing for future generations. Everyone can get involved, and everyone should get involved in any or all of these activities. Please stay tuned for more information on different community resources and ways in which you can get involved in creating a healthier community for all of us. I've been your host, Cindy Arenberg-Seltzer, President and CEO of the Children's Services Council of Broward County. For copies of this program or any other episode of Future First, please call the Children's Services Council at 954-377-1000 or visit www.cscbroward.org. And remember to join us next time on Future First, Focus on Broward's Children.